Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle. Exciting day today because we have our Week 1 match from the NGDL3. That is the Draft League tournament that I joined, run by the killer Nacho. For those of you who have seen the last episode of the Captain's Table, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't, I would recommend that you go ahead and watch that video, as I do go into much greater detail about all this on there. So this is actually my first draft league of any sort, so I am pretty excited to get into it, go ahead and have some fun with it and see what it's all about. So having said all of that, our Week 1 opponent is actually a guy named Vizually, who is also a well-known PokeTuber, and I will leave a link to his channel in the video description so you guys can check him out after if you want. And looking at his team there, I was kind of surprised by it because I do know his draft and all the Pokemon that he has access to, and two Pokemon that I was really expecting to see him bring that he did not were the Thundurus and the Virizion, both Pokemon that he drafted very early on in the draft and paid a substantial amount of money for, so I definitely was caught a little bit by surprise by the lack of both of those Pokemon on his team, but he definitely has an interesting combination, as do I, so it should definitely make for a good match, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. So looking at his team, I was thinking he was going to want to lead with either the Steelix or the Aerodactyl to go ahead and get some hazards set up early, but unfortunately he actually does end up leading with the Latios, as I decided to lead with my Vileplume, hoping to get a Sleep Powder off on whatever he left in first. So he is actually going to go straight for the Mega Evolution here into Mega Latios, and I decided to stay in here, not wanting to make any risky predictions turn 1. He does go straight for the Psyshock. Luckily for me, I do survive that in the red with 2 health, which lets me go for the Sleep Powder, but unfortunately I do miss that right out of the gate, which was really devastating. So next turn, he is just going to be able to go for one more Psyshock. Again, not wanting to make any risky predictions, I am just going to let him take me out there, and that is going to drop me down to 5 Pokemon. So really terrible start to the match for me. Bad luck on my side. Going to try to turn it around by bringing in my Talonflame here, which is going to force him to switch into the Aerodactyl, and his pressure is going to come into play. As I am just going to predict the switch and go for the U-turn. I am choice banded, even so not going to do too much damage there, but I do get the mandatory switch, and off of that I am going to come in with my Aggron. So he is going to regain some health with the leftovers there. So this turn he is going to go for the switch, probably not much of anything he can do to me there with the Aerodactyl, so he is going to switch in with the Steelix, as I am going to go for my Mega Evolution here into Mega Aggron. And I am just going to go ahead and take this opportunity to set up the Stealth Rock on his side of the field, since I know there will be a lot of switching in this battle. So this turn I do outspeed him. I am just going to go for the Earthquake here to try and see how much damage I can get on him. It actually does take him down by about 1/3, which was pretty good, but then he is just going to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock on my side of the field as well. And then he is actually going to regain some health with the leftovers. So this turn he is going to go for the switch, doesn't want to take another hit from me here, so he is going to come in with the Licky, and he is going to take some damage from the rocks, as I am going to go for another Earthquake, just trying to get damage on whatever he left in. So that does take him down to a little over half, which was not too bad, but then he is going to regain some more health with the leftovers. So really all of his Pokemon rocking leftovers, it looks like, all bulky sets as well. So I am going to go for the switch here directly into my Seismitoad, take some damage from the rocks as he does go for the Protect, not going to do anything there, and then I am going to regain all of that health with my leftovers, as he does regain more health with his leftovers. So, again, he is going to go for a Protect this turn, just to go ahead and scout me, I assume, and also get more Leftovers recovery. I just went for a Toxic, so not going to do anything there. And then he is going to regain even more health with the Leftovers. So, he is going to go for the switch this turn. I'm guessing he just didn't want to take the Toxic Poison on the Licky Licky, so he is going to switch in with the Latios. As I go for the Toxic, I actually do miss, which was quite unfortunate. So more bad luck on my side. This turn he is going to go for a Draco Meteor, and that is going to knock me down to about a quarter health, but I do survive. It does harshly lower his special attack, and I do go for an Ice Punch in return, which takes him down to about half health, and then I am going to regain some health with the Leftovers. So this turn he is just going to go for a Recover to go ahead and try and heal up. That is going to put him back up to full health, unfortunately. I'm just going to go for another Ice Punch, trying to get some more damage on him. That takes him down by about a third, and luckily I do get the freeze there, which was pretty nice, making up for a little bit of my bad luck earlier in the game. Then I am going to regain more health with the Leftovers. And this turn he is going to go for a Switch. Doesn't want to take another attack from me, so he is going to come back in with the Licky Licky and take more damage from the rocks. As I do go for another Ice Punch, hoping he would stay in. That does knock him down to about a third health, as I do regain more health with the Leftovers, and he also regains more health with the Leftovers. So this turn I am just going to go for a Toxic once again. This time I do connect, which is nice. That is going to badly poison the Licky Licky, which is nice. He is actually going to go for a Wish this turn to go ahead and get health restoration for one of his Pokemon next turn. And I do regain more health with the Leftovers, as does he. And then he is going to take some damage from the poison. So this turn I am going to go for another Ice Punch, actually predicting a switch into the Latios, but he does stay in and go for the Heal Bell instead, which is unfortunate because that is going to get rid of both the poison on the Licky Licky and the freeze on the Latios, which does suck for me. And then the Wish is going to actually put him back up to almost full health. And then we are both going to regain more health from the Leftovers. So I am just going to go for another Toxic this turn. Just want to get that set up once again on the Licky Licky, which I do, which is nice. He is actually going to go for a Seismic Toss this turn. It is going to take a guaranteed 50 damage off of me. And then once again, we are just going to both regain more health with the Leftovers. And he is going to take some damage from the poison this turn. So this turn I am going to go for an Earthquake, figuring he is probably going to stay in here. So that is going to knock him down to about a third health once again. But once again, he is going to go for a Heal Bell to go ahead and cure the poison on the Licky Licky. So just kind of going in circles here, unfortunately, as we both regain more health with the Leftovers. So he is finally going to switch out here. I guess he's had enough of going in circles, so he is going to come in with the Azumarill and take some damage from the rocks, as I do go for the Toxic once again, this time landing it on the Azumarill to badly poison that, which of course is nice. And then I do regain more health with the Leftovers. And he is going to take some damage from the poison. So this turn I actually do outspeed him, which was a little bit of a surprise. I am just going to go for the Poison Jab. I actually do carry it specifically for the Azumarill. Unfortunately, it is not quite enough to finish him off. He does survive with about a quarter health, but then he actually misses the play rough, which was really nice for me, as I do regain more health with the Leftovers, and he does take more damage from the poison. So then he is going to go for the switch, doesn't want to lose the Azumarill. So he is going to come back in with the Latios, as I do go for the Earthquake. Unfortunately, not going to do anything there because of the Levitate ability. So I kind of don't want to risk a switch at this point, so I am just going to stay in here. He does just go straight for the Draco Meteor here, and unfortunately it is going to be enough to take out my Seismitoad and drop me down to 4 Pokemon, as it does partially lower his special attack. So then I am going to come in with my Alakazam, and he is going to go for the switch once again here, this time into his Drapion, and he is going to take some damage from the rocks as I do go for a Shadow Ball, hoping he would stay in there. Not going to do too much damage there to the Drapion, and then he is going to regain some health with the Black Sludge. So here I am going to go for a switch. I don't want to take an attack from this thing, but unfortunately he does end up carrying the Pursuit, so he is going to hit me with that. It is going to drop me down to my Focus Sash, but I do survive because of it. And then I am just going to switch back in with my Aggron and take some damage from the rocks as he does regain more health with the Black Sludge. So this turn he is going to go for the switch, doesn't want to take an attack from the Aggron here, so he is going to come back in with the Steelix and take some damage from the rocks as I do go for an Ice Punch, predicting a switch, but not into the Steelix, so that is going to knock him to about a third health, and then he does regain more health with the leftovers. So I am just going to go straight for an Earthquake here. I do outspeed this thing, so I am just trying to get as much damage as possible. That does knock him into the red, but unfortunately he does survive that, and that is going to let him fire off an Earthquake of his own on me. Fortunately, I am max physical defense on the Aggron, so not going to do too much damage to me there. And then he is going to regain some more health with the leftovers. But that is okay. I am just going to go for the Ice Punch once again, and that is fortunately going to be enough to take out the Steelix and drop him down to 5 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with the Licky Licky and take more damage from the rocks, and he is going to go for the Protect once again here to go ahead and stall out more leftovers recovery. So that is unfortunate for me. So he is going to go for the Wish this turn once again, which again is going to heal one of his Pokemon next turn. I am just going to go straight for an Earthquake, trying to get as much damage as possible on this thing, and unfortunately it does survive in the red, which does suck for me, which is going to allow him to regain more health with the leftovers here. And then this turn he is just going to go for a Protect to ensure that his Wish will resolve next turn. So he is going to get put back up to about 2/3 health from the Wish, and then regain even more health with the leftovers. So this turn he is going to go for a Seismic Toss to take a guaranteed 50 damage off of me. That does leave me with about 1/3 of my health. I did go for an Ice Punch this turn, kind of anticipating a switch. So unfortunately he did stay in there, so didn't get as much damage as I could have there. So once again he is going to Protect this turn just to stall out more leftovers recovery. Which again does suck for me. Again, kind of going in circles here with this thing as it is back up to about full health. So I figure he's probably going to stay in this turn, so I do go for the Earthquake this turn, which does knock him into the red once again, but once again he does survive. And unfortunately that is going to allow him to go for another Wish there. So you can kind of see the way things are going here, the trend if you will. So once again, he is going to Protect just to ensure his Wish will resolve, which indeed it does, and that does put him back up to about 3/4 health there, and then he does regain more health with the leftovers. So I am going to go for an Ice Punch again this turn. I figured just alternating my moves to try and, throw him off in case he does decide to switch. He is going to hit me with a Seismic Toss, which does actually leave me with 1 HP in the red, which was nice. I didn't get taken out by that. And once again, he is going to Protect this turn. So again, just stalling out more recovery there. Not really much I can do about it, unfortunately. So I am just going to go ahead and keep trying to chip this thing down. So I go for the Earthquake again, which does leave him about 1/4 health, but he is just going to go for the Wish again, unfortunately, and then regain more health with the leftovers. So this turn he is going to once again protect, again just ensuring his wish would resolve. So I kind of didn't want to switch out in this situation all the while that he is stalling me with this wish protect lock here. Just kind of because I was afraid that he would try to switch back in with either the Latios or the Azumarill to heal one of those things, and I really didn't want to risk that happening. So here I do hit him with one more Earthquake before he finally does take me out with one last Seismic Toss. So that is going to drop me down to 3 Pokemon. So then I am going to come back in with Alakazam. And once again, he is going to protect here just to stall out more Leftovers recovery, see what I want to do. I just decided to go for a Focus Blast here. So not going to do anything. So he is actually going to go for a switch finally. This turn doesn't want to take the Focus Blast, so he is going to switch in with the Azumarill basically as fodder. He does barely survive the Stealth Rock damage off the switch in, and then I do connect on the Focus Blast here, although it wouldn't really have mattered since the poison would have taken it out anyway. But regardless, that is going to be the end of the Azumarill, knocking him down to 4 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with the Drapion and take more damage from the rocks, and I do just stay in here and go for the Focus Blast, knowing that I can't switch out because he will probably pursuit me again. Unfortunately, after I connect, he does survive that in the red, and then he is just going to take me out with another Pursuit, which does drop me down to 2 Pokemon. So then I am going to come back in with the Talonflame, and I am going to lose half my health to the rocks there, unfortunately. He is going to go for the switch here, trying to save his Drapion, so he does come in with the Aerodactyl. It is a pretty hard check to my Talonflame. He does take the damage from the rocks, and the pressure comes back into play as I just decide to go for the U-turn once again, which does take him down below half, which was nice. And of course I do get the mandatory switch directly into my Goodra, and I am going to take some damage from the rocks there as he does regain some health with the Leftovers. So he is going to once again protect here, again just stalling out more Leftovers recovery and also scouting me. Just went for the Ice Beam there trying to take him out, so not going to do anything. So here he is going to go for the switch once again, and again he will switch back in with his Licky and take damage from the rocks, as I do go for the Ice Beam here just to get some damage on whatever he threw in. Does knock this thing down to about 1/3, but then it does regain more health with the Leftovers. So once again, I'm just going to go for the Protect to stall me out. Another turn, what else is new, right? So nothing I can do once more, as he does regain some more health with the Leftovers. So this turn I am just going to go for the Draco Meteor here, trying to get as much damage as possible, hoping to finally take this thing out. Unfortunately, it does survive in the red once again, as most of his Pokemon have had quite a few red HP survives there, met with defensive sets most likely. Unfortunately, he does go for the Wish again. So this turn I am just going to switch out directly into my Talonflame again, kind of predicting the Protect. I do survive on 1 HP from the Stealth Rock damage. He does try to protect, but regardless, the Wish is going to resolve and put him back up to about 3/4 health once more. So once again, he will protect, just to stall out more Leftovers recovery. And so this turn I am just going to go straight for the Brave Bird, once again trying to get as much damage as possible, once again hoping to take this thing out. But once again this thing does get another red HP survive, which is just exhausting at this point, honestly. I do take myself out with the recoil there, which does leave me with just 1 Pokemon. So finally I am going to come back in with the Goodra, and I am going to outspeed this thing, go for the flamethrower, and finally, after all this time, the Licky Licky does go down. So that is going to drop him down to 3 Pokemon, which was nice. Not going to matter too much at this point. He is just going to come back in with the Latios. He does go for the Draco Meteor because he does outspeed. But luckily for me, I am max special defense with an Assault Vest, so I do survive that in the red with 24 HP, which was awesome. That is going to let me fire off an Ice Beam in return, which does take out the Latios and drop him down to 2 Pokemon, so that was kind of cool. But unfortunately, he is just going to come back in with the Drapion. He does barely survive the Stealth Rock damage there. And then he is going to outspeed me, go for the knockoff, and that is going to be more than enough to finish off the Goodra. And finally, that is game. So, I ended up losing that one, a 2-0 against Vizually, but that was a very long, very hard-fought game with a couple of different plays. I feel like it could have gone either way, but thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.